Good morning, everybody. This is Tanya with Peddlers Den, coming to you from our studio. I know many of you have been asking about our new Grippit product. I got notification that my first delivery should occur today, and so I wanted to quickly show you what it is and how it works. So the Grippit is a clear mounting stamp. It is tacky on both sides. It has about the same thickness as your cling foam mount would have. You can take an acrylic block and you can position it on there. And of course you can see through it, so it helps with your positioning. And then you just take your stamps and it holds them just like that. Now, you probably all know that I'm very, very fond of Tack and Peel. This offers a lot of the benefits of Tack and Peel, but it can easily be removed from your block and stored. It can be put on another block. It doesn't feel very tacky, but I've played with it. We've had prototypes now for a couple of months, and I've played with it, and honestly I've never had it drop a stamp. So even though it appears not to have much tack, it seems to really adhere to the stamps and the block very, very well. Now let's take a look at the other alternative. This is one of my blocks with Tack and Peel on it. The protective sheet that comes with Tack and Peel should always be kept, and it actually is a two-sided sheet. So you'll see that mine all say this side up. When you put it back on the block, you want that side to be up. It will come off very, very easily. If you reverse that, you got to fight with it, and it's very hard to pull off. Now, in a pinch, if you lose the protective cover that came with it, you can use actually a cellophane bag, but leave the bag a little bit bigger so you have a handle to pull with. One of the nice things about marking your sheets is not only do you know which side is up and which side is down, but when it's on your stamping table, you can find it. Before I started doing this, these transparent acetate sheets would float around on my stamping table and they would get lost. So there's the added benefit of making sure that that doesn't happen. I started using Tack and Peel because it doesn't drop stamps. In our classes, people would use cling foam. Well, let me step back. I used to spend unbelievable amounts of time and money hand trimming and hand mounting and hand indexing every demo stamp and every class stamp I had onto cling foam. It was a long, arduous task when you're doing hundreds of stamps. And then we would get to class, and if my students' blocks were a little bit dirty, the cling foam wouldn't stick. Now, I cleaned the cling foam before every stamp, but it didn't matter. What would always happen is somebody would ink their stamp up, they would not be paying attention, they would be talking, having a good time, they would flip this over, the ink side would fall down on their project, and then they would be angry at me. So it became a real problem. Additionally, it was time consuming, it was expensive, and cling foam is fragile. So several years ago I migrated to using just the Tack and Peel. The Tack and Peel is sold in individual sheets. The sheets are about 4 by 6 1/4, and they run $10.95. You leave it on your block permanently. Now you can see that, when you're using it, and especially in a class environment, you're going to end up with some ink on it. You can clean that using the Ultra Clean Stamp Cleaner. I tell people if you want to have only one stamp cleaner in your craft room, Ultra Clean is the best. It's made by Stuart Superior, so it's easily available. We sell it. You can order it online from Peddlers Den. But this will take any ink, including StazOn, off of any stamp, including your old polymer ones, safely. That's important because once upon a time, many years ago, I actually melted a stamp using the wrong kind of stamp cleaner. You won't have that problem with Ultra Clean. Additionally, it is oily and it does condition your red rubber when you use it. But you can also use this to clean the ink off of your Tack and Peel. And preliminary testing has shown that it also works on my new Grippit product. You have to understand, even though we've had Grippit for a couple of months, and it's performed well in every test I've used it in, it's still too early to know, how long the life is going to be and so forth. But I have deliberately gotten ink all over it, and I have cleaned it off with the Ultra Clean, and it seems to work beautifully. So the Tack and Peel and the Grippit, because they both have some thickness to them, they also act as a cushion. So those of you who like having a cushion, the Grippit and the Tack and Peel both offer some cushion properties. The other option that is popular is the Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. Now with the Tack It Over and Over, you actually paint this on the back of your rubber. It looks a lot like Elmer's glue. It's white. People say, well, do you use a paintbrush? I actually use my finger. I put a dot of it on the stamp and then I take my finger to spread it out thin. It is water soluble, so you can then go to the bathroom and wash your hands. But I'll do a batch of stamps and I'll lay them adhesive up on the table until they turn clear. Much like Elmer's glue, when the Tack It Over and Over is completely dry, it will be transparent. So at that point, it is ready to use. You don't need a lot of it. It dries surprisingly quickly. Once you have the Tack It Over and Over on your stamps, it will stick to the acrylic blocks. It will stick to your platforms. It will stick to plastic binder sheets if you use those to store your stamps. It will, over time, pick off. So you'll see little pieces of it. If you examine the back of your rubber, you'll see little pieces of it pick off over time. One thing that I haven't been real happy with is it will pick off and leave a little bit of the residue on the platforms, and I'm not 100% happy with that. I have used it on top of the Tack and Peel, and I'm not 100% happy with the way that works either. So just be aware of those things. None of it damages permanently, but those are things that you should be aware of before you choose this. The Grippit is supposed to be in today. We have to actually package it, of course, but the Grippit is available in a size to fit a 3x4 acrylic block, and I say that because it has to be slightly smaller. So the Grippit actually measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. I also have the Grippit in a size that fits a 4x6 block. When it comes, it's going to have this little cellophane sheet on it. Cellophane, I'm sorry, it's like saran wrap. It's got a heavy carrier sheet on the back, and it's going to have like a saran wrap covering. When you store it, you're going to want to cover it with something. If you leave it on your block, you won't need the saran wrap, but you will use the heavy protective covering to store it then. All of these things are totally up to you, of course. But we're starting with these two basic sizes. These are sizes I use all the time. If my favorite stamping block size is the 3x4. When you buy a piece of 4x6 Grippit, if you want to, you can cut that down to some of your small block sizes. So the 4x6 size Grippit, and like I said, it's a little bit smaller. It's actually 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. These sell for $10 a piece. The size that fits your 3x4 block sells by $6 a piece, sells for $6 a piece, and we should have those ready to ship in the next day or two. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more of these hopefully helpful series from Peddlers Den. You can shop online at www.peddlersden.com. My name is Tanya Weekly. You can reach out to me. You can phone at 815-498-3429, or you can email me at tanya@peddlersden.com. That is TONYA @peddlersden.com. Thank you very much.